Fantastic. So welcome, everyone. On behalf of the Keck Institute for Space Studies, it is my huge honor to welcome you all here today. My name is Harriet Brettle. I'm the Exec Director here at KISS. I'm going to be the MC today, so you're going to see a lot of me. I want to start by thanking our partners for this event, without which it would not be possible to convene this fantastic group of people here today. So a sincere thanks to the Consulate General of Japan in Los Angeles, to Japan House Los Angeles, and also to our colleagues at NASA JPL for all of their support in bringing this symposium together. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge the incredibly challenging time that many in our community have been facing with the devastating wildfires that have been across and affected so many of us in LA. Our thoughts sincerely go out to all of those affected, and we wish our community strength and resilience during this incredibly difficult time. On that note, I also want to thank everyone who has made it here today to join us for this event so that we can continue advancing the mission of KISS and Caltech and fostering the community that is so desperately needed in these times. So thank you for being here. I know that we've got folks who have come from as locally as the building next door and as far from away as Japan, so we really appreciate everyone coming together to be here. So back to the event. We are here today to celebrate and showcase existing US and Japan space activities, as well as fostering new collaborations. We have a really mixed audience here today, and so I don't want to get a gauge of the folks that are in the room. Hands up if you are a member of the Caltech community. All right, quite a few. Hands up if you've come from JPL, just down the road. Still quite a few, all right. Hands up if you've come from outside, elsewhere in the space sector. Still a good number, all right. And please put your hand up if you are from outside of the space world, but excited to learn more about it today. All right, okay, fantastic. So we had hands raised at every group. That is fantastic. So I really encourage you to make connections today. That is why we are here. We have a tremendous lineup of speakers that I'm so excited to introduce you to today. And with that, I would like to welcome up Bethany Ehlmann, Director of the Keck Institute for Space Studies and Professor of Planetary Science at Caltech. Bethany, over to you.
So thank you. As Harriet says, I'm the director of the Keck Institute for Space Studies. And just to share a little bit about our mission, because events like this are the heart of our mission. We are Caltech's Think, Do tank for space exploration. That is thinking of great ideas, but then executing them. And so the mission of KISS, that's our acronym, so you'll hear KISS referred to. The mission of KISS is to bring together people to enable the future in space exploration. In particular, to bring people together to develop technologies that have the potential to revolutionize space exploration. So that's no small goal, right? It's an ambitious goal, but it means bringing together people in astronomy, in engineering, in earth sciences, in planetary sciences, in fact, also in the social sciences and government, right? Because that's what it takes to enable the future. So most of our programming here at Caltech involves teams of faculty paired with people at JPL, paired with external partners who have an idea, the seed of an idea, that they believe can change the space exploration future. And so I am hopeful that some of those will be cooked up today, that those might feed into some of our workshops and our technical programs of the future. Our essence is using convening power. It's bringing people together. So in all of our interactions today, through the panels, through the lightning talks that we have, through the time at the reception, I encourage people to make these connections. I have to say, I first made my connections with with Japan in 2015, where I was invited by some colleagues, including Professor Tomo Asui, who's in the room, to teach at a short winter school in Japan. And since then, that has resulted in many collaborations, some mission proposals together, some scientific papers together. So I know how fruitful those first meetings can be, and I hope that this meeting is a catalyst for many of us here. So thank you for coming. Thank you to the Consulate, to Japan House, to JPL for organizing. Thank you to Harriet and the KISS team. And with that, I will turn it over to Harriet, who is our master of ceremonies for the rest of the program. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bethany. All right. Well, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to welcome our next speaker to the stage, the Consul General Sone, Consul General of Japan in Los Angeles. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Bethany Ehlmann, Director of Keck Institute for Space Studies, Mr. Amit Kshatriya, the Deputy Associate Administrator for the Moon to Mars Program in the Exploration System Development Mission Directorate. It's a long name. Thank you for coming from NASA. And Ms. Emily Desai, Senior Deputy Director for Global and Strategic Program Planning and the External Affairs of GoBiz. Thank you for coming from San Francisco. And Yuko Kaifu, the Chairman and CEO, President and CEO of the Japan House Los Angeles, and distinguished guests and speakers and everybody here. My name is Kenko Sone, Consul General of Los Angeles. Thank you for joining this special symposium exploring together U.S.-Japan space collaborations. To begin with, on behalf of the government and the people of Japan, I would like to extend my heartfelt sympathies to those people suffering from losses and devastations caused by the recent LA wildfires. During these challenging times, Japan stands with the United States and its people. As a part of our relief measures, Japan decided to provide $2 million US through the American Red Cross to support these relief efforts. We will continue working with the various organizations and groups, including the Japanese and Japanese-American communities and businesses, to support relief and recovery efforts as well. Well, I'd like to express my gratitude to the California Institute of Technology and Keck Institute for Space and Studies, and NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, and Japan House Los Angeles for their collaboration in hosting this event. I'm so delighted that joint effort of those organizations and our consulate over the past several months have come to fruition in this tangible way. And I also would like to warmly welcome those speakers and the participants joining us not only from across the United States, including San Francisco, but also all the way from Japan. The space, the final frontier. As a child, fascinated by Star Trek, and the student captivated by Star Wars, and of course, Japanese anime, Space Battleship Yamato. Space always seems like a part of science fiction or distant reality to me. However, starting in early 1990s, with the Japanese astronaut participated in the space shuttle missions, the space became a much closer and more relatable concept for the people of Japan. Today, we are on the brink of witnessing soon space travel conducted by crews composed entirely of civilians. Well, since the late 1960s, the Japanese government and the US government have collaborating in the field of space and deepening our collaborations across the fields, including science and technology, civilian and commercial sectors, as well as defense and security. During the Japan-US Summit meeting April last year, the two leaders welcomed the signing of the Lunar Surface Exploration Implementing Arrangement. Japan planned to provide and sustain operation of a pressurized lunar rover. There will be a presentation today as well on this issue. And the two leaders also announced the shared goal for Japanese astronaut to become the first non-American to land on the lunar surface as a part of the future Artemis mission. It's very exciting to see that will happen as soon as possible. Beyond the Artemis mission, Artemis program, we are advancing various collaboration projects, including Martian Moons Exploration, MMX program, and Space Situational Awareness, SSA. And furthermore, we are, US and Japan, advancing space-related cooperation with a Quad framework among Japan, US, Australia, and India. The Quad Space Working Group is taking initiative such as SSA cooperation and promoting commercial space collaborations. They are currently, and we also ask the Quad Fellows to join this seminar. They are currently studying STEM fields in your graduate program at several universities in the United States. It is very encouraging to see that the knowledge gained by the US-Japan cooperations being shared with those different countries as well. In conclusion, I would like to express my gratitude once again to all the stakeholders and speakers for their cooperations, and I hope this seminar serves as a catalyst for further momentum in collaborations among the government of Japan and the United States, state of California, and private sector companies in both countries to boldly go where no one has gone before. I thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, we have Yuko Kaifu, who's the president of Japan House in Los Angeles. It's a pleasure to welcome you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Harriet. Good afternoon. I'm Yuko Kaifu with Japan House Los Angeles. And first and foremost, I'd like to send our thoughts and prayers to those impacted by the recent wildfires. I know that many of the faculty members, students and staff have been heavily impacted by, primarily by Eaton and Altadena fires. So, but at the same time, I really appreciate the decision on the part of Caltech, JPL, and the Consul General's office to go ahead and do this program, because this is not just a symposium. It is much more than that. It's the forum to talk about the future of human beings. So I really appreciate also for making Japan House LA a part of your symposium. Now, I don't know how many of you are knowledgeable of Japan House. Can you raise your hand if you know? Oh, okay. I'm so pleasantly surprised because 6.5 years ago when we were established, no one probably knew about us. So some people used to ask me, are you steakhouse or something? It's not anymore, so thank you. But Japan House is a government initiative by the Japanese government. It's a public diplomacy, cultural diplomacy institute. We're located in Hollywood, and our mission is to showcase the best of Japan in various fields, and also nurture mutual understanding between Japanese and Americans. We do have sister organizations, Japan House London and Japan House Sao Paulo, but we're the only one in North America. As a matter of fact, space is one of our favorite topics. And we've done a few programs in space, particularly US-Japan partnership in space over the last few years. And worked also with JPL in August 2021. We co-hosted the webinar talking about U.S.-Japan partnership, bilateral cooperation in space, future and present, present and future collaboration in space. So, but it was webinar online. It is the first time that we have been able to be part of the program in person on campus. And my son graduated and got a PhD last year in applied physics. So it's, for me, it's like coming home. As a matter of fact, one of my acquaintances recognized my name and says, "Oh, are you speaking because you're the mother of your son?" And I said, no. But let me just talk about our future program coming up in March. Yes, this is it. So we are going to invite Japanese astronaut, the second female astronaut who ever went to space, Naoko Yamazaki, who's going to speak online today. And also we were featuring Akiko Tato, who is a licensed certified pilot, but she's planning to go into space as a space traveler with her husband. So we'll be featuring their professional and personal stories that have led them where they are now. And it will be on the 8th of March, which happens to be the International Women's Day. It's Saturday, so I hope that you'll be able to make it. As a matter of fact, we haven't really made an official announcement about the program, but we thought that it's really suitable to make it known to you first, because I'm sure that you would be interested in this kind of topic. So I hope that you sign up. I hope you can come to Japan House LA for many other things, but more than anything else, I really appreciate JPL, Caltech, Consul General's Office for doing this, and I appreciate your presence, everyone. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, fantastic. So now we have our first opening remarks of the event. And with that, I am thrilled to welcome all the way from NASA HQ, Amit Kshatriya, who is the Deputy Associate Administrator for the Moon to Mars program in the Exploration Systems Development Mission Directorate of NASA. Amit, thank you so much for joining us, and it's a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you.
I think we need to change my title. Two of you have already had to suffer through that. I apologize for that, but it's a very Orwellian thing. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Amit Kshatriya. I'm the Moon to Mars Program Manager at NASA headquarters. What that means as a practical matter is that the Artemis missions, the Artemis test program that we're conducting in order to return humans to the lunar surface is overseen by my office. I'm also a very, I would say, delighted to have been able to graduate from this institution barely about 25 years ago. I think I begged and pleaded, and they let me through. I'm also to have been an intern at JPL, and to be here now, just 25 years after I lived here. And part of that too, I do want to echo the comments of our distinguished guests and just the entire community here. That a little bit different spin on that. Every year between around about the end of January and the beginning of February, NASA we have what we call our Remembrance Week. In particular, yesterday, our Day of Remembrance was observed at Arlington National Cemetery and at NASA centers all over the country. Ostensibly, those dates were picked. I think most of you know, if you're familiar with space, that we lost the Apollo 1 crew on the pad on January 27th. We lost the Challenger crew on January 28th, and we lost the Columbia crew on February 1st. And those were heroes that paid the ultimate sacrifice. But what we also talk about during Remembrance Week is about the NASA family and about everyone that supports these missions, robotic, human exploration, our science missions, all of them, and how much their sacrifice means to us as well. And that is no more plain to me than this in the past few weeks when we've had members of this community. It was very, very dear to me. I've had many friends that when they were able to get out of here, move to Altadena, move to different places to start a life, have been affected by this, but I also know that they're going to soldier on and continue their devotion to their missions because that's what we do. And I'm here to tell you on behalf of the agency and just as a member of this community, which is a small but growing one, how grateful I am for your endurance, your perseverance, how much I admire you've been able to deal with this scenario, all the first responders, everyone that stepped up to help each other, and of course I mourn the loss of those that weren't able to make it through. And on behalf of the agency, I just want to express to you that we support this community, not just here at Caltech JPL, and not just our friends at Canoga Park that build rocket engines for us, not just our friends at SpaceX that build rockets for us too, but the entire Southern California aerospace community, which has been so fundamental to human space exploration, to robotic space exploration since the beginning, that we are here for you, we will help you rebuild, and we will always be here to support you. So just, it's really important, I think, to remember that we're gonna get through this, we're gonna get better, and that's always what happens. But now it's difficult, and I just admire so much what you guys have been able to do here. But I'm here to talk a little bit more positively about what the collaboration means. The Artemis program, I don't have. I usually have videos and pictures of hardware because we have a lot of hardware going on. But this is about collaboration. This is about sharing of ideas, and in particular, it's about what, in my experience, is one of the most fruitful collaborations that the agency has conducted internationally, and that is with the Japanese people and the Japanese government. It's something that's touched me personally, also, in many parts of my career. Originally, I had, I think a lot will be said about the different missions we have going on, the hardware collaborations. I will talk about that a little bit, but the folks who are here that are building the hardware, I would love for them to talk about the progress they're making, because they are making incredible progress. But our collaboration with Japan in space exploration goes back decades. For me, it began just as an engineer working on International Space Station. I was charged with writing simulation software and operating the robotics system on the International Space Station, which, when you think about international collaboration, that platform it's so obvious from the standpoint of how it was built and constructed, but what it actually ended up meaning in the end is something that none of us could have predicted. I worked early with JAXA and with Mitsubishi and with companies to help activate the robotics system on the Japanese element Kibo, helped install the Kibo, helped to outfit it. After that, I worked very closely with the team that was building the H-2B transfer vehicle, which was essential for us to help resupply space station after the space shuttle was retired. Absolutely phenomenal development activity that was achieved by both of our nations, but the Japanese, and the way we were able to resupply space station using that machine was really kind of remarkable. We had a Canadian arm that was 17 meters long that was attached to ISS, and this vehicle was just gigantic, would fly up next to ISS and station keep at 10-meter separation. We turn off the thrusters, and we had a crew pilot, a 7DOF manipulator in to grapple the arm, and it worked, and we were all like, we can't believe that worked, but it did. And thus opened an era of us able to resupply the ISS without the space shuttle for a decade, which extended the use of the platform, extended the science of the platform, and it endures. The Japanese exposed facility, all the remarkable experiments that were done there, the Japanese airlock on space station, which allowed the beginning of the renaissance of deployable CubeSats in those orbits. Our collaboration has just been so tremendous, and it transitions to Artemis. It transitions to Artemis in a way that's incredibly meaningful. It was mentioned earlier by the distinguished Consul General that we have, just in the last year, we made a historic deal with the government of Japan, the U.S. government, announcing that in exchange for the remarkable technology development from the Toyota Motor Corporation and from JAXA, that if they're able to build a pressurized rover that can drive thousands of kilometers on the lunar surface, keep the crew safe for 20 to 30 days at a time, this thing will be about 15 tons in terms of its capability, but allow our crew members to rove around the lunar South Pole, to find regions of scientific interest, instantly go out and conduct spacewalks, return critical samples, maintain critical experiments. If that can be delivered, then in exchange, the United States government will land 2 Japanese astronauts on the surface of the moon, and hopefully, but the way it works out, it will be the first non-Americans on the surface of the moon will be from Japan, and it will be a great honor for us to be able to support that mission. I'm very, very proud that we were able to do that. So just a big thank you to the government of Japan, and what the future is going to hold for this collaboration is just so phenomenal. So I thank you very much for that. It was a historic arrangement between the Prime Minister and the President, and all of our State Departments collaborated to make that happen. And it's going to keep, this collaboration is going to endure. It's going to endure, and it's not just about what it means for our historic partnership, but what it means for the future of technology development, what it means for all the opportunities that are going to come as a result of that, the energy that's going to come into the Japanese people when they see their astronauts on the surface, the energy that the American people are going to see when they've been able to do that and really expand the global exploration footprint and then have that translate over into all future collaboration. It's just phenomenal. I'm so excited to witness that, and I think what international collaboration means to me more than anything on this subject, and I was asked in the prompt to talk about a personal experience on this subject, and one I will give you from space station. One of the jobs I did later on in my career is I was a shift flight director for the space station, and we would run 365, 24/7. Every 8 hours we would hand over, and we would take the shift. And it always struck me, when we would come and start the handover, we would start and ask every partner, every station to report in. And at the beginning of I would always talk to our partners. And in sequence, we would talk to our partners in Russia, our partners in Germany, our partners in Canada, partners in Japan, and all over the world. And it always struck me. I was sitting in a room in Houston, Texas with no windows, and I was talking to leaders and incredible engineers and leaders from all over the world who 80 years ago were at war with each other. But what did space station do? What did the collaboration do? What does that technology, what does that desire to explore do for us? It brought us together to operate that beautiful machine, to learn about what it's like to live and work in space, to enable that from now till the end of time. That is what international collaboration is about. That's what lunar exploration is going to be about. That's what deep space exploration is going to be about always. And that's really what our program is. We talk a lot about going back to the moon. We talk a lot about finding things and leading. But let me tell you, it's really about 3 things. First and foremost, it's always about science. Our fundamental mandate is always the expansion of human knowledge. It is the most important thing we can do. It is the gift we give to the world that will endure. That's the first reason why we do it. The second reason is because that gift needs to be given to our children. We need to inspire them with incredible missions. And when we do things like this, maybe if you now as an adult maybe think it's cool, maybe you don't. I think pretty much everyone in the room thinks it's pretty cool. But when you're a little kid, you definitely think it's cool. And the Consul General spoke to this as well. I've seen it in children's faces. They would come into the control center, or they would come see a rocket launch. And these children these days they live in incredible worlds. They live in incredible worlds that can be created. But when they see something like that, and they actually understand that it's real, that somebody actually bent metal and put propellant and did something like that, there's a light that goes on in their head, and they realize that that's something that they can do too. And what happens then is a scientist, an engineer, an artist, a musician is birthed into the world in a way that you can't replicate. And the creation of that next generation of leaders, of thinkers, of scientists is really incredibly fundamental to why we explore as well. And then finally, most importantly, is leadership amongst our allies, amongst our friends, about the norms and standards of exploration, about our shared values, about what we want exploration to be. We want that to reflect the values of free and open societies, the ones that will encourage the innovation that will allow incredible things to happen, and these exploration programs induce those things. And that's why we do them. We need to keep doing them. We need to keep doing them. We need to expand the way we partner. We need to expand the way we share data. We need to expand all of the learnings we have from an engineering scientific standpoint. The more we do it, the better we're going to be. The impact that we're going to find is going to be the impact we can't predict. When we built Space Station, because we wanted to learn how to live in space. It turns out when we're done with Space Station, we will have learned so much about protein folding and about reusable rocketry and all the things that happen when governments take and socialize risk and take big risks on behalf of their people and do that to enable the future, an unknown future that can be driven and incredible things can be discovered. We're doing the things, we're exploring because we want to verify that what we know is there. We're doing that because we want to provoke our ability to explore the unknown and to bring that all to us. And that is why it's so fundamental and important. I hope this is a very successful and fruitful symposium. I'm so grateful to KISS for inviting me, for Charles, and for our distinguished guests from Japan for being here and being able to support this as well. I'm very grateful, and I hope you have a great symposium. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, so our next speaker unfortunately couldn't be with us today, but has recorded some remarks to share. So Keiichi Wada is the director of JAXA's DC office. And with that, I am going to play Keiichi's video.
Hi, my name is Keiichi Wada. I'm the director of JAXA Washington DC office. Thank you very much for providing the time to share about JAXA's space exploration activities in the US-Japan Space Collaboration Symposium. First of all, I'm very concerned about the wildfire in Los Angeles this month. On behalf of JAXA, I would like to express our deepest sympathies to those who have been affected by the fire. And I pray for the safety of all those who are working hard to restore the area. Today, I would like to share JAXA's roadmap and missions in terms of space exploration by focusing on US-Japan and international collaborations. Let me start this slide to show a roadmap for JAXA's human spaceflight activities and international space exploration. This includes 3 layers from the low Earth orbit to the Moon and Mars. And you can see 2 arrows. One will be the passing of commercialization of space activities by continuous development and utilization in low Earth orbit. The other one will be the passing of expanding human presence to deep space. You can find missions in the middle of this slide, based on the technology and experience gained through our participation in the ISS program and scientific space exploration missions. JAXA plans to contribute to the habitation function and cargo resupply technology for the NASA Leading Gateway program. JAXA also plans to step up our efforts to expand our capabilities for human and robotic exploration, such as a pressurized rover and other future lunar surface missions. I will introduce the latest status of each mission in the following slides, but the key for JAXA is to promote further exploration and sustainable LEO activities in cooperation with NASA and our international partners by gathering our expertise of robotic and human exploration. Within the Artemis campaign, Japan is participating in the study and development of the Gateway program. On the right hand, JAXA will provide the environmental control and life support system ECUS and some other components to the International Habitation Module IHAB. And on the left hand, JAXA is thinking about providing cargo resupply capability to Gateway as well as we are doing for the ISS. In 2025, JAXA plans to launch the first HTV-X for the ISS. HTV-X is the new cargo transfer vehicle that inherits the technology and knowledge from the HTV. HTV successfully performed 9 consecutive cargo resupply missions for the ISS. HTV-X is also to demonstrate technologies for future missions, including HTV-XG, you can see here. Preparations for the first HTV-X launch are in the final phase in Japan. I would appreciate it if you stay tuned for these future cargo resupply missions. I would like to show Japan's activities for lunar surface exploration in this slide and next slide. JAXA will actively participate in the Artemis campaign to achieve significant results through US-Japan cooperation. Along with the contribution to the Gateway program, one of the most important roles for Japan is to develop and operate of the pressurized rover. Based on the implementing arrangement between NASA and our government MEXT in April 2024, JAXA accelerates R&Ds with Toyota and other private partners to achieve its launch in Japanese fiscal year 2031. Our current R&Ds include system design and subsystem studies such as mobility, fuel cell, and environmental control. The rover will allow 2 astronauts to stay inside without spacesuits, which enable both human and robotic exploration missions. Mission duration is expected to be 42 days per year in case of crewed mission, or 320 days per year in case of uncrewed mission. Its requirement of lifetime is up to 10 years, and total travel distance is up to 10,000 km. Based on these requirements, JAXA is addressing to study and coordinate with NASA and other international partners. We aim to plan to make the rover to significantly expand the exploration area of the lunar surface. Let me explain additionally 2 more about JAXA's activities of lunar surface exploration. Left-hand side is one of the actual photos from the lunar surface. In January 2024, JAXA's small-scale exploration lander we call SLIM succeeded in a pinpoint landing on the lunar surface. The engineering data showed evidence of its highly accurate landing to meet the requirement. The difference between the final targeted landing point and the actual one was about 55 meters. The navigation, guidance, and control technology will be the key and one of the Japanese strengths to achieve highly accurate landing for future exploration. Right-hand side is the conceptual image of lunar polar exploration, LUPEX. The rover is being developed by JAXA. This is an international cooperative mission with NASA, ESA, as well as ISRO, which is developing a lunar lander. Japanese fiscal year 2026 is the earliest launch target by H3, which is Japanese new flagship rocket. The medium-sized rover is about 350 kg and can travel about 10 km. The key is to acquire the technology for the power supply system and other components to overcome the lunar nights. The rover aims to confirm the amount of water present in the lunar polar regions and its potential use as resources. This is my final slide. JAXA and our Washington DC office tries to contribute for international cooperation between Japan and the US. I sincerely hope that you will continue to support us in 2025 and beyond. I'd like to conclude this presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Fantastic. So maybe now is a good chance to acknowledge that we also have online participation. This event is being live streamed as well. So for folks who are joining us online, thank you so much for being here as well. There will be opportunities to participate for folks who are joining online too. So please do stay tuned for that as well. All right, fantastic. So next up, we have a keynote address. Again, unfortunately, Naoko Yamazaki was unable to join us in person, but as you heard from Yuko, she will be coming to LA very shortly in a couple of months, so we very much hope to meet her in person then. In the meantime, Naoko Yamazaki is a former JAXA astronaut and has a special message to share with all of us here, sharing her experiences in space and collaboration as well. So with that,
hello, distinguished guests and colleagues. I am Naoko Yamazaki, a former JAXA astronaut. It is a great privilege for me to deliver a message on the vital collaboration between the United States and Japan in space program. I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Keck Institute for Space Studies and the Consulate General of Japan in Los Angeles for co-hosting this event. My appreciation also extends to Japan House Los Angeles, NASA JPL, and the California Institute of Technology for their strong partnership. I also would like to thank all the speakers and distinguished guests for making this wonderful occasion together. Before I begin, I'd like to express my deepest sympathies to everyone affected by the recent wildfires. The devastating impact of these wildfires is truly heartbreaking. I sincerely wish for everyone's safety, resilience, and swift recovery from the bottom of my heart. Before diving into the main topic, let me share a little bit of my personal story, and let me share my slides. My passion for space began in childhood when I watched sci-fi space movies and anime and marveled at the breathtaking images of Jupiter and Saturn captured by NASA's Voyager probes. Congratulations to NASA JPL for regaining communication with Voyager 1 late last year. It's extraordinary that Voyager has been exploring space for 47 years and still communicates with Earth. Huge congratulations. Another moment of influence in my youth was watching the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger on TV during junior high school. Although the tragic accident shocked me and the world, at the same time, I was inspired by the courage of Ellison Onizuka, the first Japanese-American astronaut, and Christian McAuliffe, the first teacher who sought to bring wonders of space into classrooms. Their dreams and the perseverance of the lots of engineers and researchers who worked so hard to overcome the disaster motivated me to pursue my own aspirations of becoming an aerospace engineer and astronaut. During my junior high years, I also exchanged letters with my pen pal in Ohio State. This experience sparked my dream of studying abroad. Years later, during my graduate studies, that dream became a reality when I spent a year as an exchange student at the University of Maryland. I studied space robots and designing of spacecraft. This experience taught me the importance of stepping out of my comfort zone and embracing the unknown. It also deepened my appreciation for cultural exchange. Actually, it became a driving force in shaping who I am today. I applied twice to JAXA's astronaut program, and in 1999 became an astronaut candidate at JAXA. After 11 years of intensive training, mainly in Houston, Moscow, and other cities, it was my honor to serve on the International Space Station's Assembly and Resupply mission in 2010. The ISS stands as a powerful symbol of international collaboration, representing a partnership among 15 nations. Working alongside my exceptional colleagues at JAXA, NASA, and other space agencies, both in orbit and on the ground, was an invaluable experience. Incidentally, during my mission, we had 4 women on board the ISS together. That was a world record for the most women in space at the same time. Records are made to be broken, and I hope some of you will break this one in the future. Shortly after my mission, I visited LA for public speeches, including an inspiring visit to the Redondo Beach Robotics Club, as well as site visit to JPL and Caltech. I am thankful for those who supported those events at the time, and I look forward to visiting LA again in person in the very near future. Since then, I have dedicated myself to space policy and space education as the president of the Young Astronaut Club Japan, and to promoting the space industry as the representative director of Spaceport Japan Association. Spaceport Japan Association was founded in 2018 and is a non-profit platform with more than 60 member companies from various industries, including airlines, space development, constructions, infrastructure, and education, along with 14 local governments. Spaceport Japan Association also collaborates with the Global Spaceport Alliance and works closely with the government on legislation and policy. I hope Japan's spaceports will serve as Asia's gateway to space, not only for satellites, but also for astronauts and space travelers in the future. And one day, point-to-point high-speed space transportation will connect Los Angeles and Japan's spaceports in only under 1 hour, which will be game-changing. Under NASA's Artemis program, more than 50 nations, including Japan, have signed the Artemis Accords. The United States and Japan have agreed to land 2 Japanese astronauts on the moon. I'm so excited. This effort is not only about returning humans to the moon, but also about establishing a sustainable presence beyond Earth and expanding our frontier to Mars. Such ambitious goals require global collaboration. In this context, I recently published an article in the Hard Journal of Diplomacy titled Space Diplomacy from an Astronaut's Viewpoint, to emphasize the importance of international collaboration and establishing shared norms for sustainable space activities. We often refer to Earth as the blue marble because of its strikingly beautiful blue appearance from space. However, it is humbling to realize that all the waters from oceans, rivers, and glaciers accounts for just 0.02% of Earth's total mass, a fact determined through remote sensing data collected by satellites. This reminds us of our planet's finite resources and the need to care for Earth as if it were a spaceship. When we look beyond Earth, we see celestial bodies like Ganymede and Titan that contain more water than Earth. Additionally, recent discoveries have confirmed the presence of water on the Moon and Mars, opening up new possibilities of exploration and space resource utilization. This is one of the reasons why the Artemis program has captured the attention of many nations and private sector entities. Under the Committee of Space Research, COSPERS, Planetary Protection Policies, Mars, Europa, and Enceladus are protected because of the possibility of extraterrestrial life there. Dr. Masahiro Ono at NASA JPL and I had a magazine conversation a couple of years ago and talked this topic as well. As human exploration of Mars approaches, I also believe unmanned deep space exploration must also accelerate to advance scientific understanding before humans expand activities on Mars. I look forward to cross-sector collaboration in identifying effective approaches and advancing both efforts. Space programs are vital for our future. Exploring outer space helps us better understand our home planet and enhances our ability to address various challenges on Earth. The enduring partnership between the United States and Japan in space strengthens what humanity can achieve when we work together. I'd like to express my deep respect for everyone in the United States and Japan who has dedicated themselves to pushing our boundaries in various fields. I look forward to continued collaboration that inspires hope for the future of our planet. Thank you very much and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.